Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bridging the Gap. Make sure to leave a like on this video down below and subscribe. My name is Alvin. I lean right on most issues, and I'll be representing the Republican side.
My name is Luke. I lean left on most issues, and I'll be representing the Democratic side. Hey guys, so today Alvin and I are going to be giving you our bipartisan analysis on the campaign stops for both campaigns, the Harris campaign and the Trump campaign, so far in this 2024 presidential election, at least since Biden dropped out and Harris got in as the nominee.
Yeah, so we're going to be examining what the campaigns are thinking about, and it's really going to show, based off of where they're sending their top surrogates. So, top surrogates obviously include the candidate themselves for president, but it's obviously also going to include the vice presidential nominee, their spouses, and other, top leaders in DC. And so these maps that we have assembled for you here today are just the presidential nominees stops, and I think
Hmm.
this is since the candidates switch out coup on the Democrat side, right?
I would describe it as, I guess you could describe it as a sort of coup, but at the
It
end of the
was
day,
a coup
Biden
from
decided to drop
Nancy,
out.
but it was a coup
Okay.
from
But
Nancy.
regardless, after Harris got in, yeah, these are the two maps. I guess we could start. Which one do you want to start with here? The Trump one or the Harris one to see where
Let's
they've
let's
been
start with the
campaigning
Harris
here.
one because I think it's more interesting. Since
Okay,
she
okay.
she jumped in. Yeah, go for
So
it.
let me like explain like I made this map based off the stops. So like let me explain the idea behind it here. So the tilt states, that light shade of blue there, signify states where Harris only held one rally. The lean states show 2 to 3 rallies from Harris. Likely Michigan there. You That's 4 to 5 rallies, and PA, as you see there, the solid states is 5 or more rallies. So far, PA is in the darkest shade here. Harris has held 8 campaign events in Pennsylvania. Um, so it's pretty clear that PA and Michigan here, she is putting a lot of focus on those states and campaigning in those states. Um, and like yeah, it's like it just seems like a lot of focus in those three blue wall states in the Rust Belt, and a little bit more expansion down in North Carolina and Georgia. Yeah, something else I'd note here is there's not as much focus in in those Western Sunbelt states as of yet. There's one in Arizona, one in Nevada. She hasn't done a single rally in Texas yet. I'm a little disappointed on that front, but yeah, that's her map so far.
Yeah, and it shows because some people are circulating information that Harris thinks honestly that her best path could be through North Carolina, one of her top paths, and it's really opened up as an alternative. Because if you look at the swing state map, she can either win Wisconsin, Michigan. If you win Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania as the Democrat, you win at exactly 270. So if you drop a state like Wisconsin, you're gonna have to pick it up one way or another, and that's probably gonna be Georgia or North Carolina for Harris, where she seems to
Hmm.
be ceding ground in the Southwest, with her just honestly avoiding, even going there. It seems like maybe her internals are showing weaker showings out there, and having a stronger black turnout here in the southeastern states. Excuse me, I'm a little sick. And I think it sort of shows on the Trump map that the maps are a little similar here. You'll see that both candidates are really pressing in on Pennsylvania, which we talked about in a previous video how important Pennsylvania is. It's likeliest to be the tipping point state. It's a state that really both sides really need to win. If you don't win Pennsylvania, you have to sort of reach into the opponent's stronger states to be able to win. And I don't know. I think it's also interesting that he's done a lot of put a lot of attention to North Carolina for a campaign that's said that North Carolina is really in their column. He has had to go there quite a bit, and I think it's showing that Trump's been spreading out his rallies in all the major swing states. I will say he hasn't done that many rallies in Georgia, and maybe that means that his internal numbers show that he's very favorable in Georgia. There used to be a lot of polling in the past, before Harris jumped in the race, that showed that Trump was running away with Georgia. Now, maybe Harris supercharges black turnout and turns the state
Yes.
around, and obviously in 2020, no one was expecting Georgia to go blue either. So maybe Trump's numbers are inflated for him in Georgia. With his pollsters, they might just be telling him what he wants to hear. But I don't know. I think maybe his internal numbers just show him better in Georgia than every other swing state. He thinks it's locked down. Or maybe it just shows that he's ceded so much ground to Georgia, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's more likely that he's holding on to Georgia and maybe he's leaking in North Carolina,
Yeah,
which
I
is
would say,
yeah.
yeah. I think it is
Good.
definitely interesting. Like in the since Harris got in the race, um, North Carolina's been pretty close. Like in turn, like Harris has held four rallies, I believe. No, I think has held three rallies in North Carolina since getting in the race, and Trump has held four. So there's a lot of attention in North Carolina right now. And also, yeah, like a lot of polls showing it potentially getting closer. I do see a path. Like okay. I'm starting to believe that North Carolina is going to be closer than 2020. We were talking about this a bit before the video, but my thought process here is that the combination of black turnout increasing in a presidential year and shifts in the research triangle and near Asheville, I think those leftward shifts in those areas paired with an increase in black turnout is going to help Democrats move it to the left slightly. I'm still doubtful it's enough to completely flip it on Trump, but yeah, I definitely think the Harris campaign should be putting focus in that state. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's actually really interesting looking at these strategies. I think it's also important to note that Trump and Harris have some rallies in some unconventional states. I mean, it's interesting. Um, this map doesn't even show it for Trump, but he obviously had that rally in New Jersey before Harris jumped into the race. He's done rally. He's about to do a rally in Long Island again,
Hmm.
and he maybe just loves the New York Metro being from there. But he also has rally in Montana where he obviously is trying to help out the down ballot Senate race. But it just shows how weird sort of his some of his visits are. I think he sort of just goes where he wants to go. Obviously, he listens to advisors with the swing states, but Tennessee, I don't know about this visit. It's interesting to see where he goes. There's also some light emphasis into Virginia, which is interesting. Maybe he's testing out the waters there. Don't really know.
Yeah, I believe that
Yeah,
visit
go
wasn't an
ahead.
all-out rally for Trump in Virginia. I think that might have just been marking like that campaign event he did at the Arlington Cemetery on the
Okay.
Afghanistan victims. So like, yeah, it's not just rallies, it's also just other like campaign events that are also counted. I think the DNC is also factored in for Harris. That's why there's one in Illinois. Um, but yeah, like they've been doing like a lot, and there's you could definitely see the swing states get more attention than those other ones, I would say.
Yeah, I was actually a little confused on why Democrats chose Illinois for their convention. I would have thought that they would go for a state, like a swing state, but I guess that's besides the point. Um, yeah, and there's a lot of rumors on what the candidates' strategies are, right? A lot of people are, discuss and there's some strategy behind it. We were talking about this before the video, but Biden was always seen as more of a moderate than Harris. Recent polling has shown that Harris is shown to be seen as a lot more liberal than Biden, even though she's tried to sort of center herself and appeal to the median voter, and try to sort of align herself with Biden on issues where that's favorable and not align with Biden where that's favorable. And that's
Yeah.
going to reflect on her campaigning strategy because with Biden, he was always losing ground among the base. And, you saw that with the Gaza issue. You saw that with, just a lot of, far left people and Bernie bros and however you would classify them, the progressives, they were always a little hesitant to go all in on Biden, although I guess that switched when he was getting pressure to drop out. It seemed like the far left was really supportive of him. That's besides the point, though. Harris has been seen as more liberal, and so she has to do a lot more rallies in suburban areas, as you see on this Pennsylvania map, where Biden was always doing rallies in the, and the urban parts. And so that sort of factors in. What do you want to say about this?
Yeah, I do think it's interesting to see the strategy change. Like, as you were saying before, Biden was campaigning a lot in cities because he wanted to try to enthuse the Democratic base, which were kind of lukewarm on him. Harris, on the other hand, has completely enthused the Democratic base. People are excited about her. So she's taking that opportunity to attempt to expand her base a bit. So she's going into more rural and suburban areas where there's not as many Democratic voters to try to appeal to more people. So you see she has a lot of focus in more suburban and rural counties in Western Pennsylvania, like with a visit to Erie and in some of the outskirts of Allegheny County around the Pittsburgh area. I think she's definitely she's doing definitely playing more of an offensive game than Biden was. I think while Biden was playing defense, trying to just keep what he had, keep his coalition together, and keep his voters, um, Harris is going with a more aggressive strategy of with the idea that, oh, I already have all my Dem base voters. Let me try to expand my appeal and reach out to more people.
Yeah, and that reflects obviously in a lot of polls showing that Harris enthuses the base a lot more than Biden. So I think that's about it for this video. You see these Biden rallies were sort of tapering off. Um, and now you have Harris rallies and Biden's just chilling in the White House. So, that's good for him. He's putting on Trump hats. He's actually doing very interesting things nowadays. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys, for a little video on campaign strategy here. Leave a like on this video down below. Honestly, today, just comment down whatever you want. Just helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel to see future videos from us and share this video with your friends and family. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.